Hey guys, what's going on? Matthew or MP Bricks here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the best and worst spinners, basically ranking all the Ninjago spinners that have ever been. The original all the way up to the most recent in Dragon's Rising. So I think that's all I have to say. So let's get into it with the worst. So first up with the worst ones in my opinion are the Dragon Flyers. They came out for Ninjago Hunted. I personally really don't like these. The minifigures weren't good in the first place, and then the advertising for them was really weird as well. They said you could do trick shots, you could like battle each other in the air, which just none of that was possible. So I really didn't enjoy them for that. We'll see another very similar one later on, which I do believe was done better. And it's mostly because of the advertising, showing that it can do these things that it doesn't actually end up being able to do. So, yeah, I don't really like these, but let's get on to the next one. Next up, we have the Master of the Mountain Dungeon Dice piece, which personally I really enjoyed. I just kind of put it on here for fun, and you'll see it's quite similar to some that are higher up on the list. It's not bad by any means. I just figured it couldn't really compare because it is supposed to be a dice. It's not supposed to be any type of actual spinner. But it was fun for that game, and I think it's great. So let's get on to the next one. Next up, we have the Spinjitsu Burst from Season 13. Don't get me wrong, I like these, but they never really worked very well for me. And then the launching mechanism is kind of just like the Season 11 one, redone in kind of a different shape. The minifigures were cool, except I didn't like that they used the the Legacy 2 legs. That was not cool. Didn't like that. Or the Legacy masks. Didn't really like that much. And it was weird they had a hat that they could swap out. I didn't understand some of these. But overall, I do like them, so they're alright. So let's get on to the next one. Next up on the list, we have the Sons of Garmadon spinners. Inherently, I don't personally think the spinners are that bad. They're just not as good as some others. But the figures are really bad. I don't like them whatsoever. They're not good. But yeah, they are not good. But we're here for the spinners, and really it's not that bad. It's kind of just a ground Spinjitsu form of the Airjitsu ones that we'll see later on. And I personally don't think they are that bad. They were a fun toy. I only had 2. I got one from as an actual spinner set, and then one from the mainline Sons of Garmadon ones, which that one was fun. Tying it into an actual set, that was cool, and I enjoyed that. They should start doing that a lot more because it kind of reminds me of the original spinners. So altogether, not too bad, but let's get on to the next one. So next up on the list, we have the original Airjitsu flyers, and personally, I really like these. They're just not as good as some of the others, so that's why, but they are a really great toy. I love playing with these. I annoyed my family so much with these because I love them. Again, you can't really battle with them, so I don't know why the Dragon Flyers actually advertise that. That's why these are just better to me, because they don't make you think you can go do this thing that you can't actually do. It's so difficult to get them to hit, and then they hit once, and then they just drop to the ground, so it's not even fun. So I think these are much better, and they came with great minifigures too. Moro was a great figure, and every ninja was a great figure as well. So personally, I really like these, but let's get on to the next one. So next up on the list, we have the core spinners, and again, these are one that I really like. They're just not as good as some others. I like the builds, the side builds that they had. Great minifigures as well, and the tornadoes looked really good. This was after they started actually making them tornadoes, but I did not like the implementation of the capsule into these. That wasn't very cool at all. I understand why, and sure, it's a cool concept, but it was just weird, and I didn't like ripping it from the top. I guess it was better than the bottom from the Airjitsu ones that we just looked at. So, yeah, I like these minifigures, and I like these spinners overall. So let's get on to the next one. Next up, we have the very original spinners, the first ones ever to come out, and again, they're not bad. They're just not as good as some of the other ones, and I really like them. I like that you got some great minifigures for cheap. I know Nia is a good one that you could get back then. She only came in some other larger sets, so that was a great way to get her. So I'm very happy with these. And I love the card game. I absolutely loved the card game when I was a kid. And I'm trying to start collecting them up again, get all my old cards back. But I think it's a great game. And overall, they weren't great for back in the day. The spinners weren't. And they eventually did build on it into Season 1, Rise of the Snakes, which we'll look at just in a little bit. But for now, I think these have a great spot here. So let's take a look at the next one. Next up, we have the Dragon's Rising spinners, and this is nothing to do with the spinners. I mean, the spinners were okay. I didn't like them a ton, but this is mostly to do with the minifigures. I love them so much. Love the print on the top of their hood, the translucent arms, and then the darker colored torso, as well as the torso has most of them, or all three of them really, have a kind of chest plate on there, and as well as some elemental energy kind of bursting out of it. And these figures look so good. We had Lloyd, Kai, and Nia, and they all look amazing. So I think they're good just for that. I bought all three of them just for the figures. I didn't even care about the spinners. But yeah, I think they fit here, so let's get on to the next one. Next up, we've got the Legacy Spinners, and personally, I don't actually own any of these. I'm kind of just going off of other people's word and how they look. They do look good. I have a few things that I don't like about them. I don't like the bars on the top, like where you can clip things on, but I do like that you can clip things on because then it gives it a little more personality. As well as they do look like the tornado, which looks great. But the bottom of it as well kind of gets down to being one of those circular bricks so that it can sit in this thing, this build thing. I don't actually own any of these, so it doesn't really make any sense to me. And sadly now they're quite expensive. But I do like the Spinjitsu Burst ones a little better because they're just tornadoes. But it is cool that you can clip things on. And a great way to get all of the Legacy Ninja and get tornadoes or Spinjitsus for all of them. Especially Garmadon. Loved getting a tornado Spinjitsu for him. But yeah, we can get on to the next one now. So next up we have the Forbidden Spinjitsu or Spinjitsu Slam, whatever you want to call it. And this can go for the actual spinner sets or the mainline sets themselves. Either way, they look great. And they are just amazing spinners. I mean, I take off the screw thing that helps it go and just put on an inverted tile. And then I spin them away. They're so much fun to play with. And I enjoyed them back in the day in 2019. And I honestly do like the play features that they come with, like the little side builds. Those were cool. Especially the Kai versus Samurai one. That was cool. But honestly, this is just a really cool one to me, and I enjoyed them a lot. So let's get on to number 1. And for what I believe is the best spinner that they have made is the original 2012 spinner. Not the original, but still an amazing spinner. It had the crowns that you could add on. They had booster packs with the bottom blades, like the spinner blades. The card game was even more complex. Better weapons. Cards were better. It just looked so much better. And they definitely improved since 2011. And personally, just because of the game, it makes it the best for me. So yeah. But that kind of sums up my look on all of the spinners. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And I want to thank you for watching this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.